Hello and welcome to Tabletop Oddity. My name is Jay, and today Luke Weddy from FFG has been on the stream that the 5th Trooper Network is doing of the Northeast Open, a Legion tournament, and on that stream he has provided some details about the Clone Wars factions. Specifically in this case we've got a couple of upgrades, and the main reason I'm on here making this video is because of General Grievous, which he has fully in high detail, high res, whatever you want to call it, revealed. And yeah, so we're going to look at that basically. So thanks to the 5th Trooper. I'll try and put a link down. They do podcasts and that kind of stuff. You should definitely go check them out. And if you're interested in the Northeast Open, well, it's live right now. If though at the end of this video you like this video, press like and subscribe if you want more Legion content. So let's just get on to the nitty gritty, because I spent like 40 odd seconds there just rambling about what we're actually going to talk about. This is what we're talking about. This is the main thing. This is Grievous's card. So yeah, well, this is interesting, isn't it? So what we got here, right, he's 175 points. Obviously he's the Separatist faction. General Grievous, the Sinister Cyborg. So 175 points we've got. We'll look at his details first. His movement 2, health wise he's got 8, courage wise he's got 2, which Luke was mentioning is sort of quite low. Red defense dice, but obviously you can see by default no surges here. Movement 2, and we'll get onto the weapons in a moment. So a couple of interesting upgrades as well, like this weapon specifically will be interesting. Arsenal 2, which means he can attack with 2 weapons. He's only got 2 melee weapons, and possibly 1 range weapon, so that's going to be interesting. Block, so this is sort of like deflect, but not as good because it doesn't actually do the damage. If you spend a name token, you gain surge to block, because apparently in the films he doesn't actually use that. Like he blocks some stuff, but he doesn't actually deflect, is what I'm trying to say there. He's got impervious, so he's not immune to pierce, but he has impervious, which obviously when he's defending against something that has PSX in it, he rolls those extra dice, right? He's got Jedi Hunter, which is very thematic. While attacking a unit that has a Force upgrade icon, you gain Surge to crit. Pretty decent. Relentless, we know what that is. Obviously, when you move, after a move, you get to attack. It's like charge, and you can either be a ranged weapon or a melee weapon. So it's basically charge, but also on the range stuff. No, obviously he doesn't by default have a ranged weapon, but he can take one, so that's interesting. And scale, I kind of 100% remember what they said, but basically I think it's unhindered, grappling hooks, I think maybe, and this was the big one. You get at the start of your move or at the end of a move, you get a free climb or clamber, whichever one. It's free anyway, and you won't be rolling dice for it. So if you end a move at a base of a hill, you can just climb straight up that. Pretty good keyword. I'm going to make him very maneuverable. And for his melee weapons, though, you can see we've got the trophy lightsabers. Obviously, he's got Arsenal 2, so he's going to pop out both of them. So that's going to be what? 2 red dice, 4 black dice, and 2 white dice with impact 2, pierce 2. It's pretty interesting, pretty interesting card. All in all, Grievous is looking pretty tasty. That's very interesting. He's 175 points without any upgrades. I think that's like he's all right there, and just for that. They were talking about because of his low suppression, you could take endurance, which is at the end of the activation phase, you may remove 1 suppression token, just because he's going to get whittled down with the suppression, and that would be one way to get rid of some of it. So, yep, Grievous for sure. I think it's interesting. He does have that weakness of courage too, but everything else is pretty nice about him. And was talking about on Tuesday the 9th, there's going to be a FFG stream of Clone Wars, and we'll get like command cards and stuff like that there and then. So yeah, hopefully his command cards will be just as intriguing as his card as it is. I think the rest we sort of seen some of them, but I'll try and get them on the screen. There is actually an image of some of the models as well of the Bark Speeder. So this is a link targeting array for emplacement troopers and vehicles. It's the com upgrade, so you can imagine this being on a vehicle. Just gaining target 1, pretty interesting. Target 1 is, after you are issued an order, you gain a name token. Nice, not much to say about that. That's actually just pretty decent the way it is. Spotter 1, you gain Spotter 1. Obviously, the droids don't have the com upgrade, but they were saying obviously, the gear upgrade, and they were saying, essentially it would be weird if they couldn't have them, so they have a special rule where they can ignore that requirement. Again, pretty flavorful. Spotter 1, probably good on things like Vias. They said Vias will go from Spotter 2 to Spotter 3. And also good on maybe the generic commander, who you would go from Spotter 1 to Spotter 2. So yeah, a couple of interesting things there. Let's see if I can find something else quickly. Force Guidance, I think we might have seen a little bit about this. It's a free action though. You choose up to 2 friendly units at range 1 to 2, and each chosen unit gains 1 surge token. It is an exhaustible card. I don't know if you can see that there because of the glare, but it's an exhaustible card. It's 10 points. And those surge tokens apparently can be used if you are whilst you're using Guardian. Now that is interesting because the immediate thing there is maybe something like the Royal Guard who don't have any surges. Pout could take this and he would get it back every single turn because of Master of the Force. Put them on your Royal Guard and whatever else you like. Maybe a unit with Esteemed Leader, something like that. That's going to keep nearby. Yeah, you're going to get these surge tokens you're going to be able to use them whilst being using Guardian. Potentially very strong there. And I don't know if that was it. No, this is the last one, I think. And this is the smoke grenades. We'd seen bits and bobs of these. You gain smoke 1, you place 1 smoke token within range 1 and in line of sight of your unit leader. It's like a grenade. That's the grenade sort, I believe. And 6 points. So I'm not 100% sure. I didn't quite catch this, but I think any unit that's within range 1 of the smoke grenade improves the cover by 1. I think. And if you're if your unit leader is in the smoke grenade range 1, then anything that you shoot at is also at -1. They also get like light cover or +1 cover, whatever you want to call it. So interesting. People wanted these to be like an anti-sniper weapon, and I'm not necessarily convinced that is going to be the case because they ignore light cover. So they've got a sharpshooter 1. So I mean, maybe I'm not convinced that that's the answer that's going to stop snipers dominating, but there you have it. That is what that does. And I'll just quickly see if I can find this picture. I'm not going to rotate it or anything. Just showing you the droidicas. And there is one more picture, so just bear with me a second. And this one really interests me because it looks like the side cart can be removed and pivoted. Well, not removed, but you can pivot it, so you can shoot backwards if you wanted to and stuff like that. That's interesting. That's a cool looking model. Obviously, all the detail on these looks fantastic, and I'm sure it'll be great once we get it in hand. But there we have it. So let's see if we can go back to Grievous because he really is. He's the thing that made this video probably worth doing, but not. Oh, it's so. Come on, Jay. There you go. Yeah, very interesting unit there. 175 points. He is going to be that melee force in your army, which the droids probably aren't going to be that great in melee. So he's going to probably be the unit that you need to take to have that melee force, at least for a little while, whilst the separatists, when the separatists do come out. And there was I think there was a couple of things that aren't really. I mean, I think some of these we already knew. For example, the droids are weak to ion. I think we'd mentioned that before, but if you give them an ion token, they are actually affected by that because they are mechanical or vehicles in that sense, which I think we'd heard, but it's interesting just to remember. There was one more thing that they mentioned, which is so they have Courage 1, don't they? We've seen the Battle 1 cards, and but apparently they don't suffer the effects of suppression. So they will panic, but they won't have the tokens. They don't gain or benefit. They don't benefit. They don't get hindered by them, and they don't gain the benefit by them. So they're not going to lose actions because of suppression tokens, but they're also not going to improve their cover because of the suppression token. So like a good and a bad, it's sort of like they don't exist in that sense, but they will still panic off the board because they're not immune. It's not like they have a dash for the courage. They have 1. But apparently it's going to be written in the rules that they're not going to be affected by the light cover and they're not going to lose actions because of it. So that's just some pretty interesting stuff all around, I think, relating to some stuff for the Clone Wars, which it's ramping up, guys. Like, it really, truly is ramping up. We're getting the stream on Tuesday, I think it is. We're getting these spoilers now. Worldsy were talking about them. It's ramping up. I'm still sticking with my theory that it'll be on sale probably at Gen Con, and then then it'll probably be released in September. Personally, I would like everything to get released at the same time. All these Americans living near Gen Con going to get it ahead of me. Sorry, I was trying to be a bit sassy there, but it just looked weird. But yeah, whatever. It's just the way it goes. Yeah, all in all, I think it's looking pretty feisty. We're going to get some more stuff on Tuesday, so I'll definitely be back on Tuesday. Probably not till then, because unless they reveal anything else. But let me know what you thought of Grievous. Let me know what you thought about these news upgrades. And yeah, have a beautiful day. As I said at the start, like and subscribe. I'll try and put, you can just Google it, but like the 5th Trooper, they're doing this stream. They're like cool guys. Jay's a cool guy. They obviously produce a lot of quality content, so you should definitely go check them out if you can. And as I said, have a most beautiful day, and goodbye.